For centuries, humanity has lingered on the periphery of the galactic stage, a species observed with mild curiosity and quiet dismissal. To the ancient civilizations that roamed the stars, humans were a peculiar anomaly, fragile beings confined to a tiny blue planet. Their arrival into the wider galactic community, marked by their rudimentary spacecraft and fledgling technology, did little to inspire admiration. Compared to species that had colonized thousands of star systems or wielded unimaginable energy with ease, humanity seemed embarrassingly primitive. This perception, however, was rooted not in malice but in a kind of cosmic arrogance. The elder species, some of whom had navigated the stars for millions of years, evaluated humanity through the narrow lens of technological advancement. They overlooked the species' hidden potential, their peculiar knack for adaptability, and their insatiable curiosity that bordered on reckless ambition. To them, humanity was little more than an upstart civilization, destined to falter under the weight of its limitations. Humanity's first contact with the galactic community had been a quiet affair. A small research vessel had stumbled upon Earth's radio signals, a cacophony of music, static, and coded messages leaking into space for decades. When they arrived to investigate, they found a species that was neither extraordinary in physical prowess nor particularly impressive in intellect. Humans were small, delicate creatures with short lifespans and a bewildering tendency for conflict among their own kind. Their history was riddled with wars, betrayals, and self-inflicted wounds. To the galaxy at large, these traits were evidence of a species unworthy of attention. But this judgment was short-sighted. What the galaxy failed to grasp was humanity's unparalleled resilience, a quality forged in the crucible of a planet that demanded constant struggle for survival. From the moment humans began walking upright, they faced a world teeming with predators, natural disasters, and countless other challenges. Every setback became a stepping stone, every failure a lesson. This relentless drive to overcome was woven into their very DNA, a trait that would soon surprise their galactic observers. The galaxy also underestimated humanity's creativity, a trait born from necessity. Unlike many species whose evolution was shaped by abundance, humans were forced to innovate in the face of scarcity. Their ability to reimagine and repurpose the world around them led to breakthroughs that belied their supposed inferiority. It was this same ingenuity that allowed humanity to leapfrog technological barriers, transforming what should have taken millennia into a few short centuries. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of humanity's potential was their insatiable curiosity. While other species approached the universe with caution, humanity plunged into the unknown with a reckless abandon that bordered on lunacy. They were explorers, pioneers, and dreamers who sought not only to understand the universe but to reshape it. To the elder species, this trait was seen as naivety, a foolish disregard for the dangers of the cosmos. But to humanity, it was a fundamental part of who they were. When the galactic community formally invited Earth to join their ranks, it was more out of pity than respect. Humanity's representatives were greeted with polite smiles and patronizing nods, their ideas dismissed as quaint and their ambitions deemed unrealistic. They were assigned to minor roles, given access to only the most basic of technologies, and their warnings about potential threats were ignored outright. To the galaxy, humanity was harmless, a species to be indulged, but never taken seriously. This illusion of insignificance proved to be humanity's greatest advantage. While the elder species bickered over territory and resources, humanity quietly observed, learned, and adapted. They studied the technology they were given, dissected it, improved it, and sometimes outright reinvented it. They explored the stars with a determination that defied their limited resources, uncovering secrets that had eluded even the most advanced civilizations. The turning point came when an ancient threat emerged from the depths of uncharted space. A massive fleet of biomechanical invaders, known only as the Worm, descended upon the galactic core, devouring entire planets in their path. The elder species, confident in their superiority, initially dismissed the worm as a manageable nuisance. But as the invaders tore through their defenses with terrifying ease, panic began to spread. Humanity, too, was unprepared for the scale of the threat. But where others saw inevitable doom, humanity saw an opportunity to prove their worth. While the elder species scrambled to protect their own territories, humanity proposed a unified defense, a desperate coalition of every species willing to fight. When their pleas fell on deaf ears, they took matters into their own hands. What followed was a display of ingenuity and determination that left the galaxy in awe. Humanity developed weapons and strategies that no one had thought possible, utilizing every ounce of their creativity and resourcefulness. They repurposed outdated technology, transformed civilian vessels into warships, and even devised ways to manipulate the worm's hive mind. They fought not with the precision of an advanced species, but with the raw, unrelenting force of a species that had everything to lose. As the war raged on, the galaxy began to see humanity in a new light. These so-called weaklings had become the backbone of the resistance, their strategies and sacrifices turning the tide of battle. The elder species, who once dismissed humanity as insignificant, now found themselves looking to them for leadership. And when the worm were finally defeated, it was humanity who stood at the forefront of the victory, their flag a symbol of hope and resilience. In the aftermath of the war, the galaxy was forced to reevaluate its perception of humanity. They were no longer seen as weak or insignificant, but as a force to be reckoned with, a species whose potential could no longer be ignored. Humanity's resilience, creativity, and unyielding spirit had not only saved the galaxy but had earned them a place of respect among the stars. For humanity, the victory was bittersweet. They had proven their worth, but at great cost. The war had left scars that would take generations to heal, and the lessons learned came at a heavy price. But they had also discovered something profound about themselves, a strength that had been hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be unleashed. The galaxy, for all its wisdom and arrogance, had underestimated humanity, and in doing so, it had given them the opportunity to rise above their limitations and achieve the extraordinary. For humanity, the stars were no longer a distant dream, but a challenge to be met, a frontier to be conquered. And as they looked to the future, they knew one thing for certain: they would never again be underestimated. Humanity's resilience was not a product of chance, but of necessity. Throughout history, they had faced challenges that would have shattered less adaptable species. From natural disasters that reshaped their landscapes to global conflicts that tested their very survival, humans endured and grew stronger. Each catastrophe, whether brought on by nature or their own making, became a lesson etched into their collective memory. They did not merely survive, they thrived, drawing strength from their setbacks and turning them into opportunities for growth. It was this ability to adapt that often caught other species off guard. Where most civilizations crumbled under the weight of adversity, humanity evolved. Their innovation in the face of disaster was unparalleled. When the great ice ages threatened their existence, they built shelters and learned to harness fire. When pandemics swept across their world, they developed medicine and sanitation practices that not only eradicated diseases but prolonged their lifespans. And when their planet's resources began to dwindle, they reached beyond their atmosphere, driven by the belief that no obstacle was insurmountable. Collaboration was another cornerstone of their resilience. Despite their internal divisions and frequent conflicts, humanity possessed a unique ability to unite in the face of existential threats. Time and again, when the stakes were highest, they set aside their differences to achieve the impossible. This capacity for collective action, born of necessity, became a defining trait that the galaxy had failed to recognize. It was not that humanity was without flaws, but rather that their flaws were balanced by an extraordinary determination to overcome them. The unwavering spirit that defined humanity was not something that could be measured by technological achievements or military might. It was an intangible force, a stubborn refusal to accept defeat, no matter how dire the circumstances. This spirit had carried them through millennia of hardships and had forged a species capable of extraordinary feats. It was the foundation of their true power, a power that, once unleashed, had the potential to reshape the galaxy itself. Humanity's greatest strength lies in their boundless imagination and ingenuity. Unlike many species in the galaxy that relied on the slow refinement of existing knowledge, humanity thrived on their ability to envision possibilities beyond what existed. This unique trait manifested not only in their scientific breakthroughs but also in their artistic masterpieces, each a testament to their limitless creativity. They did not merely adapt to their circumstances, they reshaped them, finding beauty and functionality in places where others saw only obstacles. Throughout their history, humanity displayed an unparalleled capacity for innovation. When they first looked to the skies and dreamed of flight, they were a species bound to the ground. Yet, in a few short centuries, they had not only conquered the air but also ventured beyond their atmosphere. Their spacecraft were not the most elegant or advanced by galactic standards, but they were a marvel of problem-solving and resourcefulness. Humanity turned their limitations into strengths, achieving feats that defied their so-called inferiority. This same creativity extended to every facet of their existence. When resources were scarce, humanity invented sustainable technologies to ensure survival. When diseases threatened to decimate their populations, they developed medicines and treatments that extended their lifespans far beyond what their ancestors could have imagined. Their cities, once crude and sprawling, became hubs of innovation, each a reflection of their ability to turn chaos into order. The galaxy often dismissed these achievements as crude and inelegant, failing to see the brilliance in humanity's ability to make the impossible possible. What truly set humanity apart, however, was their unwavering pursuit of progress. While many species in the galaxy stagnated after reaching a comfortable level of development, humanity never stopped striving for more. They were never content with what they had. They always sought to push the boundaries of what was known and explore the unknown. This relentless curiosity drove them to uncover secrets of the universe that had eluded even the oldest civilizations. It was not arrogance but an intrinsic desire to learn and grow, to leave no mystery unexplored. The arts, too, were a reflection of humanity's unique spirit. While many species viewed creativity as secondary to survival, humanity saw it as an essential part of their identity. Their music, literature, and visual art captured the complexity of their emotions and experiences, telling stories that resonated across time and space. These creations, often dismissed as frivolous by their galactic peers, became a source of strength and unity during humanity's darkest hours. In their art they found inspiration, hope, and a reminder of what they were fighting for. Humanity's ingenuity shone brightest in moments of crisis. When faced with insurmountable odds, they found solutions that defied logic and expectation. During the war against the Worm, humanity's creative problem-solving became the linchpin of the resistance. They took technologies that had been discarded by elder species and reinvented them, crafting weapons and tools that could exploit the invaders' weaknesses. They transformed their ships into symbols of defiance, combining raw power with clever engineering to outmaneuver enemies far more advanced than themselves. Even the Worm, a relentless hive mind that had devoured countless civilizations, struggled to adapt to humanity's unpredictable tactics. While other species relied on rigid strategies, humanity embraced chaos, using their creativity to stay one step ahead. Their ability to think outside the constraints of tradition and expectation gave them an edge that no amount of raw power could replicate. It was this ingenuity that turned the tide of battle, earning them respect and admiration from the very species that had once dismissed them. But humanity's creativity was not limited to conflict. In the aftermath of the war, they turned their innovative minds toward rebuilding and uniting the galaxy. They shared their technologies freely, offering solutions to problems that had plagued even the most advanced civilizations. They developed methods to revitalize dying planets, create sustainable energy sources, and heal the scars left by centuries of war. Humanity's contributions went beyond survival. They sought to build a future where all species could thrive together. This boundless creativity made humanity a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. Their peers, who had once viewed them as insignificant, began to see the value of their unique perspective. Humanity's ability to imagine a better future and then work tirelessly to bring it to life was a power that no weapon could rival. They were not the strongest or the most advanced, but they possessed something far more valuable: the capacity to innovate, adapt, and inspire. Humanity's ingenuity also extended to their relationships with other species. They found ways to bridge gaps of understanding, creating technologies that enabled seamless communication and fostering alliances that had once seemed impossible. They approached diplomacy with the same creativity they brought to every challenge, finding common ground where none had existed before. In doing so, they transformed the galactic community, fostering unity and collaboration that had been absent for millennia. The galaxy's underestimation of humanity stemmed from a failure to recognize the depth of their potential. To the elder species, strength was measured in terms of technological sophistication and military might. But humanity's true power lay in their ability to dream, to create, and to transform. They were a species defined not by their limitations but by their ability to overcome them, crafting solutions that others could not even conceive. As humanity continued to rise, their influence reshaped the galaxy in ways that no one could have predicted. Their relentless pursuit of innovation inspired other species to rethink their own approaches, sparking a renaissance of creativity and progress. The very traits that had once been dismissed as naive and reckless became the driving force behind a new era of galactic cooperation and discovery. Humanity, the species that had been underestimated and overlooked, became a beacon of possibility, proving that the greatest strength of any civilization lies not in what they have achieved but in their ability to imagine what comes next. In the end, it was humanity's ingenuity that cemented their place among the stars. They were not perfect, and their journey was far from over, but they had shown the galaxy that greatness was not defined by power or age, but by the courage to dream and the determination to make those dreams a reality. As they looked to the future, humanity knew that their story was just beginning, a story that would be written not only in the stars but in the hearts and minds of all who shared their vision. Humanity's ability to connect and collaborate has always been an underestimated force, quietly shaping their evolution and progress. Unlike many species that prioritized individual achievement or rigid hierarchies, humans thrived on the power of collective effort. Their interconnectedness, rooted in empathy and compassion, allowed them to achieve feats that no individual could have accomplished alone. This innate ability to bond, despite vast differences in culture, language, and belief, became the foundation of their resilience and the driving force behind their greatest accomplishments. At the heart of humanity's strength was their capacity for empathy. They could understand and share the feelings of others, a trait that fostered deep connections even in the face of adversity. This empathy was not confined to their own species. Humans extended it to animals, ecosystems, and eventually other intelligent beings in the galaxy. It was a trait that many advanced civilizations found perplexing, even naive, but it became a crucial element of humanity's ability to unite in the face of challenges. Empathy allowed them to see beyond their own immediate needs and to work toward the greater good. Compassion, born from empathy, drove humanity to care for the weak, the injured, and the marginalized. In a universe that often valued strength and self-sufficiency above all else, humanity's willingness to protect and uplift one another set them apart. This compassion created networks of trust and cooperation that extended across vast distances and generations. It was the glue that held them together through wars, natural disasters, and existential threats. It was also the force that enabled them to form alliances with other species, bridging divides that once seemed insurmountable. Humanity's ability to collaborate was unmatched. While other species relied on centralized decision-making or rigid structures, humans excelled in decentralized cooperation. They could form teams, communities, and nations that functioned effectively despite differing goals and perspectives. This adaptability allowed them to respond to crises with remarkable speed and efficiency. When faced with challenges that seemed insurmountable, they pooled their resources, ideas, and skills to find innovative solutions. Their diversity of thought, often seen as a source of conflict, became their greatest asset in times of need. History was rife with examples of humanity's collaborative power. When global conflicts threatened to tear their planet apart, they built institutions to promote dialogue and cooperation. When faced with diseases that ravaged their populations, they shared knowledge across borders, developing cures that saved millions of lives. Even in their darkest hours, when hope seemed lost, humanity's ability to come together and act as one often turned the tide. This pattern repeated itself not because of any one leader or innovation, but because of their collective will to survive and thrive. As humanity stepped onto the galactic stage, their capacity for connection became even more evident. At first, their empathy and compassion were seen as weaknesses by more advanced civilizations. Species accustomed to rigid hierarchies or cold pragmatism viewed humanity's emotional bonds as inefficient and distracting. But this perception began to change as humanity's influence spread. Their ability to forge alliances, mediate conflicts, and inspire cooperation among diverse species showcased a strength that was difficult to quantify but impossible to ignore. In times of crisis, humanity's interconnectedness became their greatest weapon. When the worm descended upon the galaxy, devouring entire worlds and spreading chaos, many civilizations retreated into isolation. They focused on protecting their own territories, unwilling or unable to coordinate a unified response. Humanity, however, understood that survival required unity. They reached out to other species, offering not just technology and strategies but also hope. Their messages were not of conquest or dominance but of shared purpose and mutual survival. At first, these overtures were met with skepticism. The elder species, still clinging to their belief in humanity's insignificance, questioned the value of their proposals. But as the worm's advance continued unchecked, desperation forced them to reconsider. Humanity's ability to empathize with the fears and needs of others became a critical factor in rallying support. They listened, adapted, and found ways to align the interests of vastly different civilizations. Through sheer persistence and genuine compassion, they created a coalition that had once seemed impossible. This coalition became a testament to humanity's unique strengths. They did not lead with superior technology or overwhelming force, they led by example. They demonstrated that even the smallest contributions could make a difference when combined with others. Their empathy fostered trust, their compassion inspired courage, and their ability to connect forged bonds that transcended differences. Together, the coalition stood against the worm, turning the tide of the war and proving that unity was a force more powerful than any weapon. The aftermath of the war further highlighted the underestimated power of human connection. As the galaxy began to rebuild, humanity took on the role of mediators and facilitators. They helped former rivals reconcile and collaborated on projects that revitalized devastated planets. Their compassion extended to the species that had suffered the most, offering aid and resources without expecting anything in return. This selflessness, while baffling to some, earned them respect and gratitude from even the most skeptical observers. Humanity's interconnectedness also drove their cultural influence across the galaxy. Their stories, art, and music became sources of inspiration for countless beings. These creations, born from their shared experiences and emotions, resonated in ways that transcended language and biology. They reminded the galaxy of the beauty and strength that could emerge from diversity and unity. Humanity's ability to share their struggles and triumphs through these mediums created a sense of kinship that no other species had achieved. This power of connection was not without its challenges. Humanity's history was marked by periods of division and conflict, often fueled by misunderstandings and prejudice. But even in these moments, their capacity for empathy and collaboration eventually prevailed. They learned from their mistakes and found ways to bridge divides, creating a foundation of resilience that carried them forward. It was this resilience, born of countless trials and lessons, that made them uniquely equipped to navigate the complexities of a diverse galaxy. As humanity continued to grow and evolve, their ability to connect and collaborate remained a central pillar of their strength. They understood that no challenge was too great when faced together, and no barrier was too high when empathy and compassion guided their actions. Their willingness to extend a hand, even to those who had once dismissed or opposed them, set them apart in a galaxy often ruled by competition and self-interest. The galaxy, once skeptical of humanity's potential, began to see them in a new light. Their power was not rooted in physical strength or technological dominance, but in their ability to bring others together. They proved that connection and collaboration were not weaknesses but the ultimate strengths. Humanity, the species that had once been underestimated and overlooked, became a symbol of unity and hope. In the end, it was this interconnectedness that defined humanity's legacy. Their ability to empathize, to care, and to act as one had transformed them from a fledgling species on the edge of the galaxy into a force that reshaped it. They reminded the galaxy of a simple but profound truth, that true strength lies not in isolation but in connection, and that together anything is possible.